1 second.
Okay.
And we are recording.
Awesome. So thank you very much to our Phillips Avenue family for joining us this afternoon. Although we can't see all of you, we're doing it in a little bit different format for those of you that are familiar with Zoom. We know that there are several of you out there watching this presentation. The people on the screen have been very instrumental in helping us with this plan. One of the most important people on this screen right now to help us is Ms. Perez, who is going to be translating. So I'm going to remember to pause so that she can translate. Ms. Perez, do you want to just say hello, please?
Buenas tardes a todas las familias y si necesitan ayuda con traducción, va a estar ahí disponible.
Excellent. So our plan today is to go through what the reentry plan is for the district and then also specifically for Phillips Avenue. Each building is a little bit different. So we have made things very specific to Phillips Avenue based on what the needs are for our Phillips Avenue family. At this time, I would like to turn it over to our interim superintendent, Ms. Tona, to go over what the district plan is. But first, Ms. Perez, you're going to translate.
Ok, entonces la señora Rogers dice que vamos a escucharla ahorita por la superintendente interina, la presentación acerca cómo va a ser el plan de reingreso de Phillips Avenue.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers. Thank you, Mrs. Perez. Welcome everyone to our first of several parent workshops this week. So the purpose of these workshops is to provide our families with as much information as possible during this very difficult time. We understand that the current health crisis and its impact on schools has made it very difficult for our families. We want nothing more than to bring all of our students back full-time, 5 days a week. We know that all of our teachers and staff members are working incredibly hard around the clock to provide the best education as possible for our students during these difficult times. Ms. Perez?
Okay. Lo que la superintendente interina estaba diciendo es que todos estamos en estos momentos sin precedentes, todo es algo nuevo para todos nosotros y lo que más queremos a nivel del distrito es asegurarnos que todos los estudiantes y el personal pues estemos a salvo.
Thank you. All right, so let's see if I can share this.
And then also, Ms. Tona, at the end of this presentation, we are going to have an opportunity for questions and answers. So if you have questions, we ask that you just hold your questions till the end, and then we'll take live questions as well. This is being recorded for people that don't have an opportunity to see it now, and we'll talk about ways that you can reach out to people to let them know how they can view the recording of it at a later time.
Al final de la presentación usted va a poder hacer sus preguntas. También esta presentación está siendo grabada y vamos a poderla poner en el sitio web más adelante. Ellos le van a dejar saber cómo usted puede ver la presentación.
Thank you. So later on at the end of this presentation, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions, and you will do that by clicking on the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. That works for desktops as well as laptops and iPhones or cell phones. And if you have an iPad, that button is at the top of your screen. And you will type your question and we'll read it aloud and we'll be answering those questions later on in the presentation. But please know that we may be answering some of the questions that you have throughout today's presentation.
También al final de la presentación usted va a poder hacer las preguntas. Usted puede ver en la parte de abajo, si usted tiene una computadora, un iPhone, un celular, en la parte de abajo hay un botoncito, un icono que dice Q&A. Ahí usted puede hacer su pregunta. Si usted tiene un iPad, está en la parte de arriba. Pero escuche la presentación porque posiblemente la pregunta que usted tenga se las vamos a contestar mediante la presentación.
So elementary information, we have two different models currently. We have a hybrid model that will consist of 2 cohorts. So Ms. Rogers and Ms. Conroy will be working with the teachers to put students in either a Monday-Tuesday cohort where they'll attend on Mondays and Tuesdays, or Thursday and Friday cohort and they'll attend in school on Thursdays and Fridays. Specials will be held in the classrooms. That's library, music, art, Physical education will be outdoors as often as possible. If it can't be held outdoors due to weather, it will be held in the classroom or in the gym if it's available. Breakfast and lunch will be held in the classrooms, and then possibly we're working on trying to get some type of a rotation for lunches to be held in the cafeteria, but we cannot fit all of the students in the cafeteria at the same time and socially distance them as required currently with at least 6 feet apart. So recess also, just like phys ed, that will be held outside as often as possible. And once the students have their 2 days of in-school, that leaves 3 days during the week where they will be home doing remote learning. During remote learning, the teachers will be checking in with those students once a day for 20 to 30 minutes, but please know that the teachers can't do 2 things at the same time. And they will have students in front of them on Mondays and Tuesdays, even though your student may be home on Mondays and Tuesdays. So they are not available all day long. So they will send a schedule home to families and letting them know what time on the remote days the teachers are available to check in with the students. There'll be assignments provided through Seesaw for grades K through 2 or in Google Classroom for grades 3 and 4. And the teachers will be discussing those assignments when they're in person with the students and giving them some direction when they're in person so that they can complete the work at home. We're hopeful that while we recognize technology is very important, that there'll be some assignments that don't require technology because we don't want our students on looking at screens all day long. We want them to be able to do other activities and projects that will require their creativity and thought and effort outside of using the computer screen. Then we have the full remote virtual model. And our survey closed yesterday, and some families have selected this instead of sending their children in on the 2 days a week. Those students will be home 5 days a week. Students will be grouped by grade level, and these students may be grouped across schools. The principals and I and district administration, we're working on creating those groupings. There will be daily check-in by a teacher. It may not be the teacher that your child will be assigned to if they were in person, but it will be a certified teacher that will be working with the remote virtual students at home through the computer, through Google Meet check-ins, throughout the day. There'll be lessons assigned and follow up by that teacher with that group of students. So those teachers will also be recording instruction and lessons and posting them onto Seesaw or Google Classroom, depending on the grade level. And students will be expected to log in and complete the tasks and check in with the teacher who will be available through Google Meet throughout the day to assist students who are in need and provide additional direction. Now, the question has come up, if you choose virtual or full remote now, can you go back to the hybrid model at any point? We're trying to be as flexible as we can because we know that these times are uncertain for families. And we ask that you have patience with us, that if you make a request to switch from hybrid to full remote or full remote back to hybrid, that you give us about a week's notice. It may take a few days less or a few days more, but we will do our best to make those accommodations. Services such as AIS, Resource Room, and English as a New Language will happen during in-person instruction as well as during remote learning. Students that are on full remote, they will also get supports as well. Our self-contained students, they will be able to attend school Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday so that we can meet the needs and skills that are identified on their IEP. So we are looking to have our self-contained students in school Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesdays, currently the teachers will be coming into school. They will be able to do check-ins with students. They will use that time to record lessons for the days that their hybrid students are on remote at home instruction. They will receive professional development so that they can best use our technology. And they will be attending meetings at the building because business as usual will continue to happen. So we do need to have meetings to discuss our students' needs on a regular basis. And Wednesday is the day that those items will happen. This is secondary information that I'm not going to share today, but it'll be shared during our general meetings. Grading and attendance. So for the 2020-21 school year, we're going back to regular report cards. So on the elementary schools, they get trimester report cards in December, March, and June. So I know last spring at the end of the year, we had an adjusted progress report that wasn't necessarily a report card, but it was information, the best that we were able to provide during the shutdown throughout the spring. So now we're going back to business as usual with report cards. So the teachers are going to be providing that to families. And then we look at attendance. It's important for us to take attendance on a daily basis. It's easy for us on the days that the students are in person. If they are in person, they are marked present for the day. On the days that the students are at home on remote, or the students that are on full remote, they are going to have to log in to Seesaw or Google Classroom on a daily basis, and the teachers will be checking. If the student logs in and does some activity, they will get marked present in attendance. Attendance and report cards are two different things. So I liken, if you have activity, you're actually logging in, that's going to give you a credit for attendance and you're marked present. And then the effort is what's going to determine the grade on the report card. So how the student is doing their work, their progress that they're making, their level of skill, all of that will be reflected on the report card. Cohorts. For kindergarten through 6th grade, we are looking to put siblings in the same cohort, whether they're in one of the at Phillips Avenue, or if you have children at Phillips Avenue and Pulaski Street, we're looking to put those students in either the same cohort on Mondays and Tuesdays or on Thursdays and Fridays to make it easier for families. If you have students in grades 7 through 12, siblings will be in the same cohort unless otherwise requested. So in grades 7 through 12, cohorts will be determined alphabetically, but there will be some exceptions based on how we need to balance the students in the cohorts. Information will be sent before the month is out in August in the summer mailings from each of the principals. We appreciate your patience. If you have a specific request for a cohort and you didn't indicate that on the survey, please contact your building principal, and the principals are working very hard to accommodate cohort requests. So if you have 3 students, 1 at Phillips, 1 at the middle school, and 1 at the high school, you may say that you want your high school and middle school student on different cohorts, because then they would be attending school on different days and you'd have them home on different days to help with any childcare needs that they may be able to assist with younger students. Okay, all of our students are required to wear masks. Our staff is all required to wear masks. Face coverings or masks must be worn on the school bus, when the students and staff enter the building, in all of the classrooms, using the bathrooms, walking in the hallways, going anywhere in the building, and as I mentioned, as well as on the school bus. We will have mask breaks. We recognize how difficult it is to keep a mask on all day long, especially for children. But our primary focus here is to keep our students and staff as safe and healthy as possible. So mask breaks, which will be 3 minutes in duration, will be scheduled throughout the day. For elementary students at Phillips, every 30 minutes, the students will be given a 3-minute mask break. When they're sitting in their classrooms, they will be socially distanced at least 6 feet apart. Desks will be faced in the same direction, and the students will be able to take their masks off for 3 minutes every half hour. When they're having meals, they will not be required to have their mask on during that time. When they go out for recess, they will not be required to have their mask on. But again, we're going to be looking to have them outside at least 6 feet apart without the mask. Parents and guardians, you're asked to send your children in with face coverings or masks every single day. Especially for our younger students, we recommend maybe an extra mask in the backpack or 2 masks in the backpack, so that if the mask should get soiled or wet while nearby when they're eating, something spills on it, that they have a spare mask to use. We encourage you to have those masks cleaned on a regular basis, especially now when the students are at home. They probably aren't wearing masks very often. It's going to be an adjustment to wearing a mask every single day, and those masks will get dirty, and we encourage you to wash them very frequently. If a student approaches the school bus without a mask, we will have spare masks on the bus to give to children so that they can board the bus. Same thing, if you're dropping your child off and you forget the mask, we will have spare masks at the buildings to provide. So as I mentioned, health and safety are incredibly important. So if your child has any symptoms of COVID-19 or any other illness, please keep your child home that day. If your child has a fever over 100 degrees, please keep your child home that day and contact the school if any symptoms are noted. Please contact your medical provider to determine if COVID-19 testing is necessary. If a student becomes ill during the school day, he or she will be sent home, and you will be asked to advise to take your child to see a physician. The child will not be permitted back to school without a letter from the physician stating that they are not infected with COVID-19 and that they are safe to return to school activities. Again, we recognize that there are other illnesses besides COVID-19 that students may acquire during the school year, and those illnesses should be treated seriously as well. So make sure that you're checking with your physician. If your child wakes up with a fever, please do not put your child on the bus. Do not take your child to school. We will have an isolation room in every school, and that is going to be a place for children waiting to be picked up to go home, so that if other children need to go to the nurse for medication or other reasons that are not medically related that they need to go home for, we want those students to be able to access the nurse's office. And so that's why anyone with symptoms that are possibly of COVID, they will be in a separate area waiting to be picked up. That area, once that student leaves, will be disinfected thoroughly. So please know that, again, our health and safety is of utmost importance. If a student or staff member does test positive for COVID-19, the testing lab will automatically notify the Suffolk County Department of Health. Please inform your child's school of this information, and the district will work with the Suffolk County Department of Health to conduct contact tracing. So once we know that a staff or a student has COVID-19, we will be working with the Suffolk County Department of Health to contact families that may have also been in contact with that person. As students arrive at school, whether they get off the bus or get out of the car, we are going to be taking their temperature. If a student has a temperature above 100 degrees, they will be sent home. We will be cleaning the building frequently throughout the day. Our custodians have been working around the clock to prepare our buildings to sanitize as best as they can, and they will continue to do so, even more so, once everyone returns to school. The heavy-duty disinfecting will happen after school and during evenings. We've ordered and we've been receiving and installing Lexan barriers for small group instruction, as well as individual areas and our main offices where people may come in and communicate with our staff. But we're trying to encourage mask use all the time, but those Lexan barriers will also provide the opportunity for that small group instruction and individual counseling and social emotional check-ins that may need to happen. I mentioned earlier, the classrooms, the desks will be all facing the same direction. They will be 6 feet apart. So this is a picture actually from our high school, but it's a sample of what our custodial staff is busy working on. Hallways will be marked to control traffic flow and to promote social distancing. So the configuration may look different depending on the building and what the hallway configurations look like, but please know that this will all be in place before the students and staff return in September. Computer devices. We are working on, we have orders in for additional computer devices. We are on a path to provide every student in the district with their own device. We may not be there to start the school year. We're getting very close. We're grateful to be able to make those purchases. We know many families still have computer devices at home from the spring. We will encourage you, you'll be hearing from us about bringing those devices back in. Some of our devices need to be checked by our technologists to make sure that they are in the best condition for the new school year. We do have some incoming third graders that have iPads. We'll be needing to swap those out for Chromebooks. So all of that information will be communicated to families shortly. And all of our K1 and 2 students will have iPads, grades 3 through 12 Chromebooks. Again, on the survey, hopefully you indicated if you are in need of those devices. We ask if you have a device for your child to consider having your child use that at home during this time while we get everything configured and distributed, and we'll know best at that point how many more devices are needed to be purchased. And within the next 12 months, we really believe that we're on a path for one-to-one device initiatives. So when we get to normal times, students will be able to use technology at home as well as in the classroom. So that's a silver lining of, from this whole situation, is that the use of technology, smart use of technology in the classrooms has definitely increased. So we're grateful to that. So at this point, we'll go back and answer any questions that you have if you type them into the chat. And I think Ms. Rogers and Ms. Conroy have some additional information to share about Phillips Avenue. But at this point, you could start, if you haven't already, typing your questions into the chat. So let's stop sharing.
So again, we want to thank you. So again, we want to thank everybody that's on this meeting. I would love to be doing this in person, and unfortunately we can't do that, but I do really miss you and miss seeing you and your children. So I am excited to see them in September. We wanted to take an opportunity. One of the key things with all of this is good communication, and we wanted to take an opportunity to show you where you can get the best, quickest, most efficient information specific to Phillips Avenue. It takes a couple steps, but I wanted to just walk you through it and show you exactly what we have done here at Phillips Avenue. So we have our own website. It's a website that we control, so we could have up to the minute information on there and change it accordingly based on the needs. I am going to just share my screen with you so you have an opportunity to see what it is. So what you have right here is, if you type in www.riverhead.net, this is the website for the school district. And this is what typically comes up. That's our end of the day bell. So it's time to head out to the buses. So this is what typically comes up. You would X out of this. To get to Phillips Avenue, you would go to schools, click there, and go to the Phillips Avenue Elementary School. When you get there, stand by. When you get there, this right here is an overview, but to get to our specific website, if you click on the Phillips Avenue website, this brings you to what we can control. So there's information about Facebook, about Twitter. If you need to contact us, you just click here and it gives you directly to our emails. We're looking for ways to make communication more efficient and more effective. If you had an opportunity to do this today, you clicked here to attend the meeting. It brought you directly to our meeting as well. And if you're looking for more information or specific information about the reentry plan, here is another way that you can access the reentry plan. What we've also done is created a calendar so that as you are planning childcare, which we recognize is extremely difficult, as you're planning childcare, you can see which days, which cohorts are going to be in session. We did have a couple families say, well, we prefer the Thursday, Friday because there are, we have so many holidays on a Monday. Now, we don't know when we're going to come back in school in person. We, hope that we can have everything taken care of and safety and everything like that. We would like nothing more, the staff here at Phillips Avenue and probably across the world would like nothing more to have complete in-person instruction. At this time, we know that it isn't safe to do so. We have just projected the cohorts out to December. It does not mean that we are going to be on this type of schedule or plan until December, but what we tried to do is just show families that when we look at this, cohort 1 through December, the end of December, would be in session 27 days, and cohort 2 would be in session 28 days. So it's really just a one-day difference if you're trying to decide, you know, which cohort you want your child in. Another thing that we have on this page is if you need to contact any staff member, again, you can just click on the staff member's name and it will bring you directly to their email address. So this will always provide you with up-to-date information about Phillips Avenue, in addition to the information that you can get on the district website. All right. And then we just wanted to touch a little bit upon things that are specific to Phillips Avenue. And every building is addressing this in different ways. So one of the things that we are looking to do at Phillips Avenue is really look at student arrival to make sure that it's safe. When the buses come in, typically they come in and the kids go in one entrance. We are now going to have students come in 2 different entrances based on bus arrival. That will help with just the general flow. It will help as well with taking temperatures as students come into the building. In terms of student drop off, the side lot, because based on the survey results, we see that there are many more people that will be dropping off their students. But again, keep in mind that only 50% of the students will be coming to school on any particular day. Even with that, we've developed a 2-lane way for you to drop your students off at the student drop-off entrance. Again, it's just going to help expedite things a little bit more in terms of traffic flow. At the end of the day, we are also looking at ways to streamline and become more efficient. End of the day, parents will not be coming into the building to pick up their kids if you are an everyday pickup. What we've done is we've set up a system where a student, and if you have a child that has been in our after-school enrichment program, they can talk you through this a little bit as well. But typically the students come down the hallway, they take their card with their name on it, and this is going to help us in terms of attendance. So Evan is going to come down the hallway. Evan is number 1 on our walker list. He is going to take this. Now this has his name on it. This isn't going on his backpack. This isn't something where if he's walking to his bus stop, a stranger would see his name. This stays in school. Evan takes this and he hangs on to it. Evan's mom pulls up in her Mercedes. She doesn't have a Mercedes. Pulls up. She has this on her rear view mirror. We know, we radio in, we say, please send number 1 out. Number 1 comes out. Evan then hands this to the person in charge. And now we know that Evan is safely and securely with the adult that he's supposed to be with in the car that he's supposed to be in. And Evan then can be transported home. So again, we're really looking for ways, those of you that know me know that I am very much into safety. We are looking for ways to streamline things, not only from an efficiency standpoint, but from a safety standpoint at Phillips Avenue. In terms of all of our drills, we are still going to be doing the safety drills. We are required to have lockdown drills and to have fire drills. We had a great staff meeting yesterday with many members of the Phillips Avenue staff. Some really good questions came up, conversations. In addition to the team that supported the district plan, we had a team of teachers at Phillips Avenue as well that created the specifics to the Phillips Avenue plan. And that's where the details come into what makes it work here at Phillips Avenue. So the meeting yesterday was a great meeting, and we talked through that, you know, in the past we would do one thing for our fire drills, but now we're looking to spread students out a little bit more, and we are going to be doing something a little bit different. One of the things I think that is going to be an important thing to keep in mind for September is flexibility and patience, because as this is something brand new. I've been in education 33 years, and this is a September unlike any September that any of us have ever experienced. So we are setting this up to be as successful as possible, knowing that probably about 2 hours into the first day of school, we're going to be making adjustments as needed. And so please, I think, again, I just want to reiterate, call us if you have questions. If you didn't get a chance to fill out the survey, we will do it by hand here at school. Please give Miss Ginny or Miss Jackie a call. If you have questions, we are here straight through the opening of school. Please give us a call, just be patient. And also continue to visit the website as well, because we are updating that when we have new information. So at this point, I think what we'll do is we'll start taking the questions and hopefully we have answers. Please again know that there are many questions that are still out there and we don't necessarily have all of the answers. Do you want me to moderate the questions, Ms. Tona?
No, we've got that.
Oh, great. Go for it. Thank you.
Before we get to that, because I know
Yes.
everyone sees the screen and they may not recognize all of the people that are here with us today. So we have with us Assistant Principal, Mrs. Conroy. And then we have Deputy Superintendent, Sam Schneider. Executive Director for Curriculum Instruction and Professional Personnel, Dr. Lori Kerner. You met Daniela Perez, our translator. Then we have our Director of ENL and World Languages, Denise Stevenson, who is serving as our moderator today. And our Director of Facilities, Ryan Jacobellis. And our Director of Security, Terry Culhane. So I just want to thank everyone on this call, as well as all of the other people behind the scenes that have been working on the district task force, the people that have been on the subcommittees that have been reporting to the district task force. We spent a lot of time this summer to try to come up with the best possible plan. And we recognize that many people have asked us questions over the summer as to why weren't we able to put this plan in place or that plan in place? Why can't we configure the students in a different way? We can't bring the students in any more days than what we currently have. And that's because of space constraints and staffing constraints. We just don't have enough staff to make that happen. And we need to make sure that the students are socially distanced. We recognize that this is not typical, as Ms. Rogers said, and we are very hopeful that this is temporary, that at some point, this situation will not be our reality anymore. And we will at some point be able to resume normal operations, because there is nothing more important than having students in person 5 days a week with direct communication and interaction with their teachers and our staff. And we recognize that, and we hope you understand and have patience with us that this is a temporary situation, and we're doing our best to accommodate everyone. And we know that everyone's situation is different. So thank you for your patience and understanding. So Ms. Stevenson, I'll turn it over to you.
Actually, can I just jump in with two quick things? So one of the things, because I got a phone call from parents today, was about food and students being able to have bagged lunches on days that they're not present. So I don't know if that's in the questions, but definitely something. And then two was, yes, we are still having our before care program here at Phillips Avenue, 7:30, and we are continuing here at Phillips Avenue our aftercare program to provide a greater span of coverage and childcare for your children to accommodate working hours.
Okay, so we have a number of questions. First of all, we have a thank you for all of our hard work. And then we're going to start with how and when can we register for full remote?
So again, I would just, at this point, the survey is closed, but we still are taking information from families. Please contact Miss Ginny or Miss Jackie tomorrow. If you go to our website, you can see their email address and also our phone number. If you don't have it, give them a call and we will do everything that we can to accommodate which cohort you want to be in, and also if you want to go fully remote.
There's a question, if we're going to have 2 days in person, is it going to be 7 a.m. to 2:20 p.m.?
So that actually sounds like high school hours, if I'm correct. Here at Phillips Avenue, our day, student day, is 8:50 to 3:30 we get on the buses, unless you want to take advantage of our before and after care programs.
The next question says someone who is stating that they'd like to know when we'll know which teachers the kids have. She's not sending her students, but she would like to know when she'll know when they're the teachers and their work.
So again, the survey closed yesterday, so we were provided with a lot of parent information. We have been going through it today. It is going to shift some things in terms of classes here. So we do have a number of people that would like to go total remote for their children. We are still working on who will be assigned those classes. So stay tuned. Our goal is to get information out to families next week. Right now, we are looking at Phillips Avenue as getting the mail out on Wednesday, the 26th, I believe is the date. That's our goal.
The next question, will counseling still be available remotely?
Ms. Tona, would you like to take that one?
Sure. Yes, we will be following students' IEPs. And then we also recognize that this is a difficult time, that some students who may not be identified as needing special education services may also need some extra TLC, some extra check-in time, and we're going to be working with our staff to do that as best as we can. We just ask for patience. Again, our staff is limited. Our staff is dedicated. They want to do everything they can for students. It may look different from what it would look like if it was in person, but we're going to do our best to meet the needs of all of our students. Thank you.
Next question is, they want a clarification. Is the remote learning straight 5 days a week?
The way, if you're on full remote, the way that is going to work is we're going to be assigning students in a grade level to a teacher. So it may be a teacher from Phillips Avenue. It may not be a teacher from Phillips Avenue, but it will be a certified teacher from the district that will be working with the students 5 days a week remotely. When the students are on the hybrid approach and they're in 2 days and they're home 3 days, they will be getting a daily check-in from their teacher that they do see in person on the 2 days a week that they're in person, and guidance as to what lessons and projects need to be completed on the 3 days that the students are home. But students are expected to check in either in person or remotely 5 days a week.
The next question is, what will before care look like?
So before care will look a little bit differently. In our cafetorium right now, we have it set up, half of it, we have it set up. There are 18 desks and chairs in there, 6 feet apart, socially distant. So what we are going to be looking to do is encourage students to bring in different things from home, which in the past we haven't. So again, this is how we're adapting and adjusting to what this year would look like, to keep them occupied during the before care. So whether it's puzzles, those types of things. But we'll have jump ropes, we'll have different things that will be sanitized. But for the most part, again, we are looking to keep kids 6 feet apart. And during the before care program, they will also continue to wear masks.
Next question is, are we going to get a school list of supplies, and the person adds that they feel they can help getting hand sanitizer and hand soap if it's on the list?
I will say we will always take donations of hand sanitizer and hand soap, and we appreciate that. I know we often ask for donations of tissues as well. What I will say is you will be getting a list of supplies in the very near future. We are very fortunate. We have a community that's extremely generous and have been receiving donations of supplies. So bear with us. Because of those amazing donations, we have been able to take some things off of the student list, and it's a considerable number of those things. We fully acknowledge that it's very difficult right now for families financially. You're struggling with, can I go back to work? How am I paying for childcare? So we've really tried to streamline the supplies that we need. Your child's only going to be in school, if you choose the hybrid model, 40% of the time. So, we've really asked the staff, and they've done an amazing job at looking at that list to say, what is it that we need right now? We may in January say we need some more pencils or we need some more highlighters, but we're trying to streamline everything right now. So stay tuned. I will have that information, and yes, it will be on our website. So please visit our website often, but I will have that information to you soon.
The next question is, will there be a list of supplies for remote learning sent out as well, and some other encouragement saying that we're doing a great job and we should hang in there?
Thank you for the encouragement. We definitely need it. Not only the people on this call, but also all of the teachers have had many sleepless nights. There's, again, a lot of questions to be answered, and it's because of the community of people that have come together to develop the plans that we are going, we're going to be able to do the very best that we can. So thank you for the encouragement. Keep it coming because we definitely need it. But it's because of the amazing staff here at Phillips Avenue that we are in a really good position to open up the school. And I completely forgot the question after the encouragement. What was the question again?
Supplies for remote learning.
Yes, supplies. Thank you.
So the teachers for the supplies for remote learning will also reach out about what will be needed. It will be typical to what we need here in school as well.
Will there be a wait to get your children into the same cohort?
I'm here tonight if you want to, not right now, but if you want to give me a call. We are still trying to accommodate as many families as possible in terms of which cohort that you would like to be in. Again, we're recognizing that some people have childcare on certain days of the week and other days of the week. So we are doing our very best to accommodate people. You can also speak with Miss Ginny and Miss Jackie in the office tomorrow and ask that we do our best to get your child in a cohort. When you call, if you have multiple children, whether it's here at Phillips Avenue or also at Pulaski Street, please let us know that, because the administrators are coordinating together to do our very best to keep families in the same cohort as well. And thank you to my colleagues for the work that you're doing with that.
Next question, how can we sign up for Before Care now?
Ms. Rogers is going to put on her to-do list an application for the Before Care program that will be posted to the website. There you go, the website. So we have that. I will have that up this evening before I leave. You can print that out, fill that out, and if you want to send it into the school, you can do that. If you're not able to do that, we will, any day you can, when school is in session, you can bring your child with that application to school and we will take them on that particular morning. But for your planning purposes, I will have that application on the website this evening.
Will the students get to say goodbye to last year's teachers for closure?
Oh, yeah, I think we can all say that it was a very difficult end of year. And as much as we tried to reach out and we did our drive-through in the neighborhoods and the honk and waves and every building did something a little bit different to celebrate their students and their staff. Nothing is like what it's like the last day of school and being able to say goodbye and some of the things that different staff members do. So my answer to that is yes, we do want to have an opportunity for teachers to see their children from last year. We're still working out the logistics of that. That will be done and planned with the Phillips Avenue reentry team here. But it is something that we definitely acknowledge that we need to help with some more closure from last year and then moving forward with this year. It's a great idea.
Are students allowed to bring personal hand sanitizer to school?
Ms. Tona, would you like to take that one?
I was going to hand this one to Mr. Jacobellis because he knows what the do's and don'ts as to what's allowed in the classrooms or not.
Yes, we are allowing students to bring personal hand sanitizer. However, they are not allowed to transport it on the school bus if it contains alcohol. So perhaps it can be dropped off with your student.
Thank you.
Yep, and similar to when you drop other things off for your child, what's easiest is if you put it in a bag with your child's name on it and their room number or their teacher, and then we'll take care of getting it transported down to their room. I will ask though, if you have a bag of things right now that you want to donate, please just hold off. We are still putting the final touches on getting our school prepared. As Ms. Tona said, right now we don't have the lines in the hallway. We're finishing polishing the hallways before we put those lines down. So if you can just be patient with us, maybe that first week to drop things off, that would be helpful to us, just being able to better receive those donations.
Next question is, does anyone know what the busing with the drivers and matrons look like? Because as a monitor, I have no clue what the plan is and what the buses will look like.
I can take that one. Danielle, hi, hope you had a nice summer. There is a complete run pick for all drivers and monitors August 31st, I believe. You should be in touch with the transportation department. I'm sure that Mr. Moore and Ms. Firth should be happy to give you additional details, but you should plan on coming in at your assigned time to complete your run pick and get your assignment for the year.
Okay, and our last question. If desks are 6 feet apart, why will students be required to wear masks?
Mr. Culhane, would you like to take that one?
Yes. Well, in the committee, the Health and Wellness Committee, which was attended by a lot of stakeholders, including parents, faculty, staff, community members, while reviewing the state ed guidelines, we felt that it was best that everybody wears a mask, even though we're 6 feet apart. It's a suggestion in the guidelines that there is a possibility that you could not have a mask if you stay 6 feet apart, but in an environment that's enclosed as a classroom or the school buildings, even with all of our good ventilation, which has been brought up to the standards recommended by the state, we felt it was prudent for everyone's safety that everybody wears a mask.
Thank you, Mr. Culhane. And just to reiterate what we said a few times throughout the presentation, it's the health and safety of the students and the staff that is most important during this time. Always, but definitely heightened during this time of COVID-19. And so that's why we're requiring everyone to wear masks if they're inside the buildings, with the exception of mask breaks and meal times.
We did just get a couple of last minute questions. Well, a little bit more appreciation, thanking everyone. But then one question, for kids age 4 to 7, it will be hard not to play with each other. Do we need to teach them at home not to play or get along with the other students?
We always want students to get along. And it is very difficult because we often refer to this as our Phillips Avenue family. And so that interaction is something I know I have personally missed, even though, you know, Bob and I have done a lot of announcements through Facebook and through Twitter. You know, it's that interaction that really makes Phillips Avenue a very special place. I don't ever want you to teach your child not to interact with students or with others. But what I would recommend is, you know, helping them to understand, and we all are working on this, where we're not shaking people's hands anymore or doing a high five, and just other ways. I'm also working on my eyebrows so that, you know, I'm smiling with what I do with my eyebrows, as opposed to not being able to see me smiling in the mask. So it's really just teaching us different ways to express ourselves and that connection. I don't know if anybody else wants to jump in with that one.
We all agree with you, Ms. Rogers. It's a difficult time. We want our students to be children. We want them to enjoy school. And our teachers and staff, they've been working so hard. And we know that the teachers have questions too. This is not an easy time. And we don't necessarily have all of the answers. But we're going to do our best together to work through this as one big family, a Phillips Avenue family, as well as a Riverhead Central School District family, and do the best that we can for the families, for the students. And like I said earlier, this is temporary, and we just keep moving forward, think positively, and this will be behind us soon enough, and we can get back to business and normalcy. We want that, nothing more.
There was a couple, yes, I just.
So we did just get another one, right? So more appreciation for our hard work. And then one person has to clarify. So full remote kids will get an iPad or a laptop depending on the grade, correct?
If they're in need of that, if it was indicated on the survey, If you didn't indicate it on the survey, please give Ms. Rogers a call or an email, and we'll get you what you need. So we appreciate all of the questions today. We appreciate the support from those of you that expressed that. And this is being recorded. So if you know of people that didn't get a chance to log in today, it will be up on the website within the next day, as soon as we can get that technology up and linked to the website. So thank you all. Thanks to the panelists here today. And thank you to all of you that that tuned in and asked questions and just was here to get information. Thanks.
Take care, everybody. Be well, be safe. When in doubt, give us a call and check the website.